We're keeping a pulse on the Pillar 2. It is a concern of ours. I think we're still waiting to get some defined definitions, because one of our big concerns is the consistency of how maybe the rules will apply across the markets, whether if I use a US standard, will that same standard be applied in the other markets?
Joining me today is Jill Patterson, Vice President of Tax with SBA Communications Corporation. Jill, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you were on a panel here at REITwise looking at tax issues for REITs investing outside the US. What are some of the issues a REIT faces as far as educating non-US employees that need to be addressed when a US REIT expands overseas?
The primary issue that I spoke about is getting good tax advice. We have been in challenging markets. We're not in European markets, so we're in Central America and most recently South Africa, Tanzania, so some very emerging markets, I'll say. And we have had trouble getting good tax advisors. Sometimes we go to law firms, sometimes we go to accounting firms. But managing through that process and really having these markets understand what industry we're in and how the tax rules apply to our industry is probably the best advice I can give. And sometimes we have to ask 1, 2, 3, or even 4 advisors before we see that answers are aligning and we feel comfortable that we made the right selection in an advisor.
And in what ways will the OECD's Pillar 2 initiative impact how US REITs operate in foreign countries?
We're keeping a pulse on the Pillar 2. It is a concern of ours. I think we're still waiting to get some defined definitions, because one of our big concerns is the consistency of how maybe the rules will apply across the markets, whether if I use a US standard, will that same standard be applied in the other markets? So we're keeping a watchful eye on it and talking to our colleagues in the industry to brainstorm and see if if they have concerns, and keeping a close eye on it though.
Does SBA have any REITs based in another country?
We do not. We're only a US-based REIT. We have looked at entering into countries where they have maybe REITs, and what if we could maybe take advantage of that. But the problem is that in a lot of these foreign markets, you have to be listed on the local stock exchange of that country. And some of them also have real estates, but they're more in a mutual fund or an investment type account. So our local subsidiary would not necessarily qualify.